So we have one other innovation presentation for you, I guess the calling him back up to the stage would kind of give you the idea that what they're doing in Orange County, California is pretty innovative. I'd like to invite Larry Tucker back up to the stage to talk about what Orange County is doing with their CEO forums. Larry is the incoming chapter chair of Orange County, and he's been the chapter's CEO forum program chair for 4 years? Since 2009. He grew the CEO Roundtable, the CEO Forum, from 2 forums to now 7. They currently serve more than 80 small business owners in Orange County, and it involves more than 15 members in the chapter. Before he retired, Larry was part of an international consulting firm and personally worked with Fortune 500 companies like Walt Disney, Northrop Grumman, and Mattel. And certainly there's a few chapters that are as innovative as Orange County. And I think this is another one of those programs where when you listen to what they're doing and the structure they've put together for their CEO forum, it's things that you can bring back to your chapter, no matter the size that you're looking at or even the number of volunteers, because it's applicable for all of us. So Larry, please come up and share with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. First, thanks to Steve for getting us on the agenda for this to talk about the CEO Forum program. We're really thrilled with the program. We started it 4 years ago. It's been growing really well. We've helped a couple of other chapters to start their programs, and we thought, boy, this would be great if we could at least share this with everyone to see if it's appropriate for your chapter. As Steve mentioned, you can probably do this in every chapter, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit about what it is, how it works, but I really want to spend some time talking about how it could apply to your chapter. So, like a good sales guy, I will start with the benefits of the program and how can this benefit your chapter. Here are the things that we have found that it has helped us with. First of all, this is really unique. And again, we'll talk about the details of it in a second, but it's a different learning process. It's peer learning and counseling, I guess we can call it. It's different from face-to-face, from workshops, from business roundtables, from virtually anything else that we do, but yet it complements everything we do really well. The other neat thing about it is that it provides ongoing support and assistance to clients. So again, this isn't a one-shot deal or a series of meetings or workshops. This is an ongoing relationship we have with our clients that could last for a long time. In my forum specifically, and it's very typical of the other forums, about half the folks that are in my forum right now started with me 4 years ago. So the intent is to continue that relationship for a long time. One of the reasons that we started the program was because we wanted to increase the visibility of SCORE among the mature business community or the existing business community. So we had exposure with people that wanted to start business, with organizations that were startups, but we wanted to get a little bit more exposure with those organizations that had been in business for a while that we could help. And in fact, in the CEO Forum program, the average length in business of our member is about 10 years. I mentioned that it's an ongoing relationship, so it increases your face-to-face sessions. Yeah, actually, the other interesting thing that I've got next in here is what I didn't realize when we started this thing is that mentors really want to be a part of this program. And we've got a waiting list of mentors that want to be meeting leaders for the CEO Forum program. And one of the things that has happened over the last several months, in fact, has been that we've actually had a couple of folks that have applied to become mentors specifically because at one point they want to be part of the CEO Forum program. Well, that's pretty cool. And then the last thing on here is this is a terrific opportunity to be able to cross-refer. That is, about 40% of our members, that is the CEO Forum members, are referred to us from workshops, from other mentors, and from our advisory board service. and the reverse happens. We have tons of opportunities to be able to work with our members in our forum to say, you know what, that would be a great situation for a workshop, for this particular mentor, or for our advisory board. So let me tell you what it's about, how it works. It's going to seem really simple to you. If it's done right, it's really great, it's really effective. These are monthly half-day meetings. 12 small business owners, the same 12 small business owners each month, and they are facilitated by 2 SCORE mentors. We address their specific issues that they walk into the meeting with. I'll talk about the process that we use in a second. We've got a mix of businesses, that is, we intentionally mix businesses. We will have, sitting side by side, retail, B2B, brick and board, internet, service industry, manufacturing. It gives us the best kind of range and perspective of ideas for all these issues. And then it is a confidential setting. We actually do have them sign a confidentiality agreement that nothing is shared outside of the forum, of course, and we make sure that we don't have any more than, that we don't have any 2 competitors in any one forum. So let's talk about the process. We use this process that we call the forum process that is not unique. Other organizations use this, so we didn't make this up. But it's a process that works really well to do 3 things. Number 1, it focuses on that particular subject, so this isn't just 12 people sitting around talking. Second, it focuses on results. That is, this discussion is going to come out with a specific set of results. And third, there's accountability tied to it. So that is, the results will be used by that member to do something as early as within the next month, and we'll talk about that in a second. So the members sign in, and I call them members, so don't let me confuse you. The clients, these are CEO Forum members, sign in, they've got an issue, they put the issue up, could be, is it time for me to hire a sales director? And then they rate that in some kind of priority order, maybe an A, B, or C. And then we sit down, do a brief roundtable on what's happened in the last month, and then we dive right into the issues. Take the first priority issue, and the person with the issue states the issue, gives a little background on the issue, might talk a little bit about what they've done to try to solve it so far, and then specifically states what he or she wants from the group. Could be one question, it could be a couple of questions. Then we go into the question period, and actually this is a really important part of this whole process. That is, we have a fixed question period where we don't want people to jump to conclusions, so we don't allow people to start guessing and coming up with answers early. We want to be able to take the time to access the full depth and breadth of that issue. And only when we're done with that issue do we start going to solutions. I was like, the famous philosopher, Dr. Seuss, are you with me? Dr. Seuss said, sometimes the answers are simple, but the questions are complex. And that's it. A lot of this is kind of training ourselves and working with each other to be able to ask the right questions. As mentors, you know that. A lot of times it's asking the right question, not having the answer. Then we go into a solutions roundtable, and in the solutions roundtable, we just go around the room and say, okay, what's your comment, idea, solution for this person? When we're done with that, the person with the issue says, here's what I heard, here are the solutions I'm going to use, and my commitment is that next month when we do the briefing at the beginning of the session, I'm going to talk to you about, I'm going to report back on what I've done. It seems pretty simple, but it is really powerful. These are just some comments from our members. We survey our members quite a bit, both by internet and also verbally, to get a sense for what they're thinking and what they're getting out of the forums. Here are the things they've said. Multiple perspectives and a range of ideas, of course. They said, this is really neat that for a half day every month, I get an opportunity to work on my business and not in my business, right? I don't have to worry about the detail of stuff. I get an opportunity to talk about things that I maybe, in some cases, wasn't even planning to talk about. But it's somebody else's issue. I've learned something from it. The nice thing about not having people kind of invested in each other in this thing, and that is because you don't have friends or salespeople or consultants involved with this thing, what's happened is you can have some very frank and honest discussions. There are going to be times when individuals in the group or the group can say, don't do that. You know, the right thing for you to do is not this. Don't go in that direction, or do this. We actually had a situation with one person that said, you know, tell me a little bit about how to manage this sales director. I've been working on it for the last year or two, and it's not working out well. What do I say to him? What do I do? By the time we were done with the questions, as we started in the solutions, the issue was more about how to coach that person out of the organization as opposed to how to coach that person. Sometimes it's like a support group. Sometimes it's just really important for one person to be able to say to another, yes, that has happened to me too, and here's what I did about it. There are a lot of practical tips. I've said to everyone that I've talked to about this program, I walk out of each session with at least one new business book to read, one new app, and one new website to go to. That's why I'm about 3 years behind in my reading in my business books. But it's amazing, and we learn a lot. And then, of course, typical resource suggestions. You know, what attorney to use, IT firm to use, etc. Those types of things. So let's talk a little bit about how this might fit into your chapter. So the goal here is to put 12 peers into a room together. And those peers can have anything to do with business. I mean, they can be in any of the range of possibilities from large companies to sole proprietors. So you could focus on large companies, medium-sized companies, small companies, sole proprietors, startups. We've actually had the request to start a forum for sales directors only. We've had a request to start a forum for finance people only, for example. So there are a lot of possibilities on how to start this. We've built quarterly speakers into our program just to add some new ideas, but not necessarily required. All of you have potential speakers that have lots of knowledge, both in terms of the mentors in your chapters and also, of course, the workshop leaders. So you've got opportunities to bring them in as outside speakers. We built into ours an annual speaker and dinner event where we invite spouses and guests. Again, not required, might do something like that down the road, but it gives an opportunity for them to bond a little bit more and kind of get to know each other outside of the business setting. And the last thing that's really important is we do charge for it. We charge $120 a month, which covers the cost of food, facilities, and speakers. We do suggest that you charge for it to make sure that there's a commitment for it. So it's not $120 per meeting, it is $120 per month. So before I go off the subject, one important thing on recruiting members or recruiting clients for this. Once you've recruited for your forum, it doesn't necessarily mean you're done. There is some turnover. And so you do need to be thinking about continuing to recruit in various different ways. Usually what happens, at least what we've seen in ours, is that there is the most turnover in the first year. As it settles in, you might lose 3 or 4 or even 5 people. After it settles down, on average of 1 or 2 a year, something like that. I've listed here just to keep moving. I'm not going to go through all of these, but again, we get a good chunk of ours from SCORE internally from our other programs. And now, as far as I know, I've been learning some things over the last couple of days here at the conference. But we've got ours going. Minneapolis started theirs in 2011. San Diego started theirs in 2012. I've talked to a couple of folks from others, like New York and Chicago, who have done or are trying something similar to this. And so other things are going on related to this. So the bad news is there's not time for questions, but the good news is we've got a lot of resources for you. First of all, Heather Hendy was nice enough to take all of our material, so all kinds of stuff, all our marketing material, our member guide, operations guide, our member commitment agreement, everything, and genericize it. She took Orange County off of it, and it is now posted on this website for this leadership conference. And you'll see it. It says CEO Forum stuff or something like that. And you just need to click on there, and there are about 20 documents in there that you could literally just take, add your chapter name to, and get started. So that's one resource for you. Second resource for you is me, or in fact, the folks from Minneapolis or San Diego. And then third, and we just set this up the other day, at 5 o'clock today, so shortly, in an hour, we will be in Spectrum B. And so there will be Monty Dickinson from San Diego and Rick Barkley from Minneapolis. And the three of us will just be there to answer questions that you've got, have any discussions you want to about the CEO Forum program. So again, thanks for letting me share this all with you.